banks of the Mississippi River in America's heartland lies the Gateway City, the home of the blues, St. Louis. This great city, so closely tied to the waters of Old Man River, is the site of round 5 on the world's premier water skiing series, the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. In the first half of the season, men's jumping has belonged to Australian Bruce Neville with 3 victories, while world record holder Sammy Duvall has won just once, yet still holds the overall tour lead. In contrast, men's slalom has produced 4 different winners, rising star Wade Cox, defending tour champion Mike Kjellander, world slalom champion and record holder Andy Mapple, and American Carl Roberge, a standout in both slalom and jumping. Among the women, Sherry Sloan has dominated the jump, while slalom has pitted defending tour titleist Helena Kjellander against former world record holder Jennifer Leachman. The second half of summer begins today. It's a warm and breezy day on Creve Coeur Lake, just west of St. Louis, as we prepare for the Gateway Challenge. Hello once again, everyone. I'm Bob Varsha. As we approach midsummer here in mid-America, the Gateway Challenge also brings us to the midway point of the 1991 Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. In the first half, we saw great performances by rising stars, such as 21-year-old Kristi Overton among the ladies, and on the men's side, a great champion, Sammy Duvall. Here at the Gateway Challenge, we expect more great action, and to bring us up to date on what we can expect, let's go to our ESPN water skiing analyst and former world champion in men's jumping, Wayne Gremdich.
Thanks, Bob. Throughout the elimination rounds, we've had the closest competition this year and perhaps ever on the tour, especially in the men's and women's slalom events, and also in the men's jumping. Now, if the wind stays down, the water will be smooth, and I don't think performances will be any less competitive. We'll also see a couple of new faces this afternoon. In the women's slalom, Natalia Romanseva from the Soviet Union. She's a former world trick champion who's been practicing her slalom in the United States, and it's starting to pay off. In the men's jumping, 2 young and aggressive skiers, Jarrett Llewellyn from Canada, John Swanson from USA. Swanson hit a personal best of 192 in the final round of qualifying to try to challenge the favorites in that field, Sammy Duvall and Bruce Neville. Sammy qualified with a 197. Bruce was a foot back with a 196. These 2 training partners will certainly be fighting it out this afternoon, but they'll also have to fight the heat and humidity, which has been oppressive in the last couple of days. And there's some question as to how much that'll soak the energy out of the skiers and affect their performances. For that answer, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, thank you, Wayne. There you can see the trees blowing in a stiff wind, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. It'll be in the face of the jumpers and both pushing and following the slalom skiers as they make their passes. Temperature about 90 degrees, and as Wayne mentioned, very, very humid here today, and that will sap the skiers' energy. Time now for women's jump. As a capacity crowd here, some 7,000 fans on hand. The ladies will take 3 attempts. The best jump will count. The boat speed 32 miles an hour, and they will leap off of a 5-foot ramp. First up will be Jodie Skipper of Australia. The first time this year we've seen the young Aussie in action.
We're going to take a look at Jodie's first and best leap of the day, 128 feet. She ran into some problems at the wake, but she collected herself nicely and got off the end for a jump that exceeded her best in the qualifying round by 1 foot.
And that's about all you can expect out of someone. 128 feet, the best effort for Jodie Skipper. And we will move on now to her Australian countrywoman, Karen Neville.
Well, here's someone who's very dangerous in any event. Slalom tricks and jumping, the former world overall champion. She won the slalom event last year in St. Louis and already has 1 jumping tour event victory under her belt. And she gets a great kick off the end in some difficult wind conditions.
A great pass for Karen Neville, 132 feet to lead the competition by 4.
She handles the wake very well, keeps her right ski down the water, left ski doesn't fly off too much, so she's able to stand up and kick a nice one. And remember, it's just distance. Form isn't a factor other than putting you in the right position to get off a good jump.
Obviously, some fans in this capacity crowd a little more interested than others in the action on the water. Kara Neville's second attempt was 126 feet. This is her third and final run at the ramp. She'll cross the wake at some 60 miles an hour. Oh, and she slips off the side of the ramp and waves immediately to the crowd. Wayne, I don't believe that.
Well, it's remarkable that she didn't even get her wind knocked out of her, and she's already talking to the pickup boat. She had what was an aggressive cut to the ramp. Her right ski's a little bit behind her, but then it's her left ski that dips and throws her off, and she starts to dive forward. She lets go of the rope, and generally the skier will miss the ramp, but she let go so late that she hit the surface.
Oh, we've seen some heavy crashes in the water. That's the first time we've actually seen someone hit that ramp.
Well, one of the nice features about water ski jumping is that you can let go when you get into serious trouble, and this could have been a lot worse of a crash if the skiers are committed and have to hang on.
In days of old, that would have been a wooden ramp, and Karen Neville would have come up one solid splinter from head to foot. But as it is, it's covered with a plastic material, and water washes down the ramp. So as you can see, Karen Neville comes up with nothing worse than a bad experience. Now our third and final jumper, Sherry Sloan, with 2 victories in 4 events coming into Creve Coeur Lake here in St. Louis. Her first attempt was a wave off. This is her second attempt.
And she's really got to try to maintain her focus and her composure here after seeing a crash, and she kicks off a nice one. Wow, her ski's a little spread at the base of the ramp, but she collected herself and really kicked right there. She brings them together just at the last moment and gets a nice lift.
A huge jump, 136 feet for Sherry Sloan, and with that jump, she will win the women's competition.
Some of the bumpy water causing the girls some problems through the wakes. Sherry, just the instant before she hits the ramp, had her skis together and snapped her legs.
So it all comes together for Sherry Sloan. She will pass on her third attempt, and she is the winner of the women's jump. Here's a look at the results. By 4 feet, Sherry Sloan has her third victory in 5 events.
Well, things are really starting to come together for you. You had a kind of a slow start this year. What's been the difference?
Well, the main difference is my coach and I took a few minutes, looked back on what was happening, and went back to the basic things and skiing across the lake, and I'm getting it together now.
Way to go. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Indeed, congratulations to Sherry Sloan. We'll be back with men's slalom.
By Michelob Dry Beer. Once you experience the bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back. By Mastercraft Boats, nothing else even comes close. Test drive one today. By Ford and your Ford truck dealer, the best never rest. Add by Inmar Inboard Power Technology.
Bart's Skiers catalog explodes with thousands of famous name brands for the beginner or pro. And it's free. Skis, vests, wetsuits, gloves, ropes, kneeboards, and just about anything else you need for skiing fun. And you'll enjoy Bart's discounted prices, too. For your free Bart's Skiers catalog, call 1-800-342-1700. That's 1-800-342-1700. Bart's everyday low prices are everyone else's sale prices. Bart's latest Skiers catalog. It's free.
The Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. Now here on ESPN. Don't let it pass you by.
Valio, the ultimate water sports belt. The Valio reduces back fatigue. It gives me the support to train longer and confidence to jump farther. I recommend it highly to all water skiers.
Valio has a style and color to fit your needs. For the dealer nearest you, call toll-free 1-800-634-2704. Valio.
The Gateway Arch, symbolic of the city of St. Louis, Missouri, home of Round 5 on the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. Bob Varsha and Wayne Grimdich with you as we prepare for men's slalom and a matchup of our 4 tour winners thus far this year. In the upper half of our bracket, we'll have Orlando winner Wade Cox against Carl Roberge, who won at Fort Worth, Texas, then San Diego winner Mike Kjellander against Lakewood, Colorado champion Andy Mapple. Now here is Wade Cox at 40 feet of tow rope.
Wade is very similar in build to Andy Mapple, about 6'1", 175 pounds. Some people think that's the ideal build. And Wade, like Andy, turns quite well off of both sides of the course.
A full pass, 6 buoys at 40 feet of tow rope. Now here is a look at his training partner from the Orlando, Florida area, Carl Roberge.
A former Tour Slalom champion, Carl is a fun guy to watch on the slalom course. Naturally gifted, very strong. He does a great slalom improvisation.
Now this is with the wind at his back, pushing Carl Roberge into the buoys. Going back in the other direction, he'll be facing the wind, and that will call for an entirely different technique. Carl Roberge also with a complete pass at 40 feet of rope. There is Mike Kjellander, the defending tour champion from Sweden, looking on. And Andy Mapple of Great Britain, the world record holder. We'll be seeing them in a moment. We shorten the tow rope up to 37 feet now for another look at Wade Cox, just 22 years old, youngest man ever to win a tour stop a year ago when he was just 21. He will now be skiing into the wind at 36 miles an hour boat speed, doing some 60 miles an hour between the buoys.
And Wade runs into some problems around number 3, perhaps the bumpiest buoy in the course. Rounding 2, he's late, has a delayed turn, fast into number 3, and he doesn't drive the front of the ski to slow down, has too much speed, and decides to stand up and get 3 full buoys.
So 3 full buoys will be the mark that Carl Roberge will now shoot for. Here he comes. A man who is jumping and slaloming today, the only skier on the tour who has competed in the finals of both events. Through the gate he comes. 1 buoy. Here's the second one now, that troublesome 3rd buoy that Wayne talked about, and he gets it. With the 4th buoy, he will have the victory in the semifinal bracket, and he drops the tow rope.
Well, he does just a great job of getting on the front of the ski, working the pre-turn. That's the area before the buoy where the skier slows down. He gets the handle down in the water, but grabs it, has a wonderful athletic move to continue on and get outside of number 4 to advance in the final.
I can't believe the way Carl Roberge comes back from the brink of disaster time after time. He deliberately lets go, knowing that he is on his way to the finals.
He just keeps having all these Michael Jordan moves on the water.
Absolutely. And speaking of athleticism, now we're going to see a very distinct contrast in styles. Brute force, Mike Kjellander against absolute silky smooth Andy Mapple. Mike Kjellander, 27 years of age, originally from Sweden, now living in the Orlando, Florida area, as so many of the top skiers do.
And it's very important that they stay early in the race from buoy to buoy here, because as they move down the course, the wind gets more severe and the water gets very choppy, particularly around number 4 where he's slow. And he needs a big turn on 5, and he gets a great turn.
The master of the slam turn, a left foot forward skier. So on those left turns, Mike Kjellander just nails that buoy. Now here comes Andy Mapple, the absolute master of the slalom technique. 28 years of age, from Great Britain, the world record holder and the role model for a great number of European skiers.
Well, you watch the key to Andy's success is that he slows the ski down probably better than anybody in the business. Really works the front legs, the knees, the ankles to get a lot of the ski in the water. Very deep around number 2. Is steady around 5, knowing he only needs 1 more buoy, and he makes it.
Just like that, at 40 feet of rope, Andy Mapple advances with a clean run, and now Mike Kjellander will come back with the rope shortened to 37 feet.
The key to this run is buoy number 2.
Here comes number 1. Smooth around 2. Now here comes, oh, and he misses the 3rd buoy.
Unfortunately, he was smooth, but he had a very slow turn around number 2. The water very bumpy. Around number 1, he gets straightened up before he completes the turn. Bad angle into 2. Fast and narrow. It's very choppy, and even though it's a headwind, it doesn't help him slow down much and has no chance of getting to 3.
And And so now Andy Mapple knows what he must do. Clear just 2 buoys in order to advance to meet Carl Roberge. There is the second one.
And he goes outside of number 3 to advance in the final. They'll probably give him 2 1/4 because he didn't get back into the wakes before the first set of boat gates.
Officially 2.5 buoys, the mark for Andy Mapple as he advances to the final to meet Carl Roberge, and we will have our first double winner in slalom competition this year. We'll give him a breather and be right back.
Remember me now? Hey.
You delight me.
Hollywood hits. We like them as much as you do. And they're just a part of the good stuff on TNT.
Published by the Wall Street Journal. It's all you need besides your own ability to land and do well in the kind of job you've been looking for in a part of the country you'll enjoy at a salary you can be proud of. It's all you need.
Get the National Business Employment Weekly at your newsstand or order by credit card and get 8 issues by first-class mail for $35. Call 800-372-3000. 800-372-3000. The National Business Employment Weekly.
Don't make a career move without it.
This Nixon is a crook. Stolen base leader Otis Nixon sparks the surprising Braves. Pittsburgh's Barry Bonds has some speed of his own to turn this game into a real track meet. Don't blink, you might miss ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball.
Just about a half-hour's drive from the muddy waters of the Mississippi River are the clearer waters of Creve Coeur Lake, site of the Gateway Challenge on the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. The Inmar-powered Mastercraft towboat used on tour is specifically designed to contribute to performance without intruding on it. Here's Wayne Grimdich with more.
Vitally important to any skier's performance and skiing enjoyment are the boat wakes. Mastercraft's unique hull design and configuration varies the wake's size, width, and firmness at different boat speeds. Now we're going to take the boat up to 17 miles an hour and take a look at the wake, which is great for trick skiing. It's round, it's wide, it's firm, great for doing aerials off a kneeboard, a ski board, or a trick ski. Now as the boat accelerates up to 27 miles an hour, the wake narrows, becomes flatter, and makes it easier for skiers to cut across the wake in slalom and jumping. And as the boat continues to speed up to 36 miles an hour, the top competitive speed, the wake continues to flatten. It's almost non-existent, which is something all the competitors love.
Actually, getting through the wakes on a good edge, it really sets you up for the whole course. It's the most important thing. And having great, low, soft wakes like the Mastercraft wake is really important.
The key is the wakes are so small and they're so soft. You know, we're reaching speeds of 75 miles an hour. Jack Walker's up there pulling us as hard as he can, and we're fighting. And with the big wakes, you're going to lose position. Small wakes, you get better position in the ramp, and you're going to get big distances. And I think that's the reason why the jump distance has really come up in the last few years.
On a windy day like today, Bob, the small wake is even more important.
Those waves mean the world record of 3 buoys at 34 feet of tow rope held by Andy Mapple will not be threatened as Mapple and Carl Roberge go into the final. At 40 feet of tow rope, Andy Mapple will be up first. Carl Roberge had the better performance in the semis.
Now watch Andy's turn coming up to number 4 here. That's his onside. Right foot forward skiers generally turn better to the right. Very smooth, very sharp angle. Staying way ahead in the race from buoy to buoy. 6 buoys, 6 races. Kind of like driving a car. You try to brake coming into the turn and accelerate away from the turn.
A better performance in the semis mean that Carl Roberge calls the tune, and he preferred to send Andy Mapple out first so he could get a good look. A 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze in his face.
Carl, like Andy, also gets a great turn on buoys 2 and 4 right there. Great angle into number 3. Breaks at the waist, but gets back on the ski quite well. Another sharp turn on 2 and 4. That's his onside for right foot forward skiers. They generally turn better to the right.
Like tennis players with a forehand and a backhand, skiers have forehand and backhand turns. Now this is the forehand for Carl Roberge, and he almost lost it.
One of the great characteristics of Carl is that when he breaks at the waist, he can get back on a ski so quickly. He's very agile. And he makes up the lost ground at number 4 with no problem. Similar problem on number 5. He kind of stops the ski a little bit right there, but he gets back into a strong pulling position and doesn't seem to lose much ground.
Great arm and abdominal strength helped Carl Roberge through that one. We will shorten up the rope to 37 feet. Now, this is the rope length at which both skiers fell in the previous round. Andy Mapple's up first.
And this is the direction where the skier is going to have a tailwind. Andy gets pulled out a little bit around number 2, running a touch late, very bumpy on number 4, and he's really late into 5 and just outside.
But he gets back to the boat wake, and so Andy Mapple has 5 buoys at 37 feet of rope.
He's got the wind behind him, the water is rough, and it's very difficult to slow the ski down. He's way down course on number 4, still pulls long and hard into number 5, throws the ski to the outside and decides, hey, that's all I can get. Let's stand up and get the full buoy.
But that's a better performance than Andy Mapple had at the same rope length in the previous round. So Andy Mapple will now stand and watch as Carl Roberge tries to duplicate his feat and better it. There's one buoy. Here comes his offside. Whoa, and the rope went slack. Oh, and he goes down at 3 buoys. Can he recover? Yes! Oh, and he lets go at 4. Carl Roberge down in the water. He will be officially given 3.5 buoys, and this one just got worse and worse.
Well, he got in deep around number 2. He still hung on, came into 3 with lots of speed. Only Carl Roberge can do this. Stand on the front of the ski, drop his shoulder and his arm into the water, and still pull it out to get around number 4. And I almost thought at this point he was going to do it again, but he just couldn't quite get back soon enough.
What an amazing run for Carl Roberge. Andy Mapple is therefore the winner in men's slalom, our first double winner this year, and Wayne is on the dock to meet him.
Well, congratulations, big guy. You really made a lot of nice adjustments for the changing wind, and it is a little more bumpy out there than it looks from shore.
Yeah, it really got me by surprise in that first round against Mike, how rough it was. I was looking for here, and I was watching Wade and Carl ski that first bracket. You know, it looked all right. They made it look like easier than what it felt to me out there, watching that first bracket, and I was kind of shocked. And then, you know, after skiing that round, I figured, you know, I was a little weak on my gates. I was trying to be a little too cautious, and, you know, I figured just, you know, let it go and just see what happens, and I was happy.
And so Andy Mapple has a victory in St. Louis to match his one at Lakewood, Colorado earlier this year. We'll be right back.
Would you like to own a Mastercraft ProStar 190? You can by entering Overton's Tour Sweepstakes. Dial 1-900-454-TOUR, and you will automatically be eligible to win a Mastercraft ProStar 190. Plus, you'll receive an Overton's 1991 Water Sports catalog and a certificate good for $5 off your next order. The first 500 callers will also receive a Team Mastercraft decal. Call now for your chance to win. Just think, your own Mastercraft ProStar 190.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
Welcome back to the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour. This week, round 5 on the tour, the Gateway Challenge from Crèvecoeur Lake, just outside St. Louis. Crèvecoeur means broken heart in the Indian patois of the Mississippi Valley. We are ready for kneeboarding competition. First up, the flip out. This is Dave Reinman with as many flips as he can squeeze into 20 seconds.
And this is the first of 2 passes in this head-to-head competition. Try to stay closely to the wakes is key. You don't want much lateral movement. As you see there, the Mastercraft wake making a nice round, firm wake for them to get great elevation.
9 flips for Mike Reinman. Now here is the king of dizzy, Mario Fosa, originally from Caracas, Venezuela, who squeezed 11 flips into 20 seconds, believe it or not.
And that was just one short of his pending world record of 12.
So Mario outscored Mike by 2 in the flip-off as we move into the compulsory stage.
And Mike starts with a back roll left. And he moves into a back roll in the opposite direction. Now he swings wide to get more speed, to get good lift off the Mastercraft wake, and goes into a front roll. And then the last maneuver, a front roll in the opposite direction.
With that, Mike scored 1,100 points for style. Then it was Mario Fosa's turn, and you're watching the master of the kneeboard in action.
And this was his last front roll, performed beautifully, but it was the difference between the flip-offs that gave Mario the championship.
1,100 points in style for each kneeboarder, but it was those two flips during the flip-out competition that won it for Mario Fosa. Now it's time for one of our Coca-Cola water skiing tips. This week we will feature another of the great characters in the sport, Eric the Flying Hawaiian Perez, with the fundamentals of the ski board.
Skiboarding started by guys using the boat wake like a wave, getting their surfboards and riding it behind the boat. It advanced to skiboarding with foot straps, and that's where we are now. A beginner can get behind the boat, use the weight on their toes to turn one direction, use the weight on their heels to turn the other direction, and eventually use the boat wake not only as a wave, but a launching ramp. Let's take a little closer look at some of those maneuvers. When starting in a deep water start, it's a fairly comfortable position. You're lying on your back, the board's to its side. As the boat begins to pull, you want to make sure your arms are straight, your knees are bent, sink the tail, bring the tip of the board towards the back of the boat, and the boat will automatically pull you up and out of the water. In order to do the back flip, you want to make sure that you have a good grip of the handle. Use the boat wake as a jump. So get in the air, rotate your head down, your shoulders over, complete the rotation, and hopefully land on the other side, completing the maneuver. When approaching the wake for a helicopter, you want to be in a wrap position, because as the line unravels, your body's going to rotate when you cross over the wake. So you want to get in the wrap position, hold on tight to the handle, and as you hit the wake, you want to make sure that you clear the wake before you start rotating because of the spin on the board. So clear the wake, rotate, and hopefully land safely on the other side and continue skiing on.
The operative word there is hopefully. We don't recommend that you go right from coming out of the water on your ski board to the helicopter, but you might want to think about it. We'll be back with freestyle jumping.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that that takes your breath away? That's the taste of real refreshment. That's the real love Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Water Ski Magazine. Experience the grace and power of slalom, the exhilaration of barefooting, the rhythm and balance of tricks, the excitement and thrill of freestyle. Experience all the world of water skiing has to offer 10 times a year. The world's top skiers and experts give you step-by-step instructions on everything, from the basics to the most advanced techniques. Only Water Ski Magazine gives you in-depth consumer reports on ski boats, skis, water toys, and much, much more. Water ski, hot action photography, and the best in tournament coverage. Call and get it all. 1-800-992-2177. Subscribe right now and receive absolutely free the Water Ski Tips from the Top Book, packed with instructions, stop-action photos, and how-tos by the experts. It's like your own personal water skiing coach. Call 1-800-992-2177. Act now and get 10 issues of Water Ski for only $14.97. Plus, get your free tips book. That's 1-800-992-2177. Call now.
August on ESPN. Line drive base hits. Rushing late hits. Campus scenes. Childhood dreams. Booming drives. Splashing dives. Forehand smashes. Out of control crashes. Bruising fights. And Sports Center every night. All in August on ESPN.
Welcome back to the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour from Creve-Coeur Lake in St. Louis. Bob Barton, Wayne Grimditch with you. We are ready for some freestyle jumping. We've got a beautiful afternoon and a lot of beautiful people looking on here at Creve-Coeur. The rules of freestyle jumping, your best 2 of 3 attempts. The boat speed varies with the degree of difficulty of the trick. Off a 5.5-foot ramp, you're scored according to distance, form, and the degree of difficulty of the individual trick. First up, the master of freestyle jumping, Dave Reinhardt, 26 years of age from Delray Beach, Florida.
Dave is wrapped for a full twisting one-ski back Mobius, a full twisting back flip. And nicely executed. He dusts a little bit on the landing. That'll take away from his form, but he got a good lift. And decent speed. That'll give him good distance, but the form was a little bit off.
The ski comes completely out of the water on the landing, and you must ski away from the jump in order to be scored. So a score of 735 points for Dave Reinhardt. Next up, Hank Amos, just 20 years of age from San Antonio, Texas.
Well, this is one of the young great talents on the tour. Hank's cutting to the ramp to do a one-ski back gainer. Wonderful, beautiful form.
Terrific landing, no splash at all. If this were a diving competition, this might be a perfect 10 for entry.
You know, ideally, the water skiers want to look like snow skiers in the air. Smooth, elegant, and then have a gymnastic-type landing.
That's one of the best landings we've seen all year. From just 20 years old, Hank Amos.
45 miles per hour on a 7-inch wide ski. Wonderful balance.
716 points for Hank Amos, and now we're ready for the first attempt from another of the young lions of the sport, 21-year-old Jeff Schmick.
This is the same maneuver Dave Reinhardt completed. The one-ski back Mobius. Well done. Better landing than Dave, but not quite as far on distance.
725 points on this jump for Jeff Schmick. He scored a big 828 on his second attempt. Now that puts our leader Dave Reinhardt into second position, and he will need a big effort right here in his third and final attempt.
And this is the one-ski front Mobius, a full twisting front flip. Very awkward looking by the nature of the trick, but he lands and he skis away. Terrific.
It may cost him some style points, but he scores big, over 1,000 points, 1,005.
Very awkward because he has to clear the rope with the ski. In order to do so, you have to kind of get all bent and twisted up.
Just hold on for dear life. Get the ski on the water first, and then get back up on it. Great recovery for Dave Reinhardt. He moves back into the lead. Now Hank Amos on his third and final attempt.
And he's in third position. He really needs this trick, and he sticks another landing. He must have been a gymnast in an earlier life.
Two terrific landings for Hank Amos. Now, he crashed on his second attempt. This gives him a total of 1,601 to take over second place.
Well, he really is on the mark today. Squarely over the ski, gets a beautiful extension right off the top, easily completes the rotation and the revolution. All at the same time, flips, twists, and sticks.
And kicks that ski around. Now that moves Jeff Schmick from first to third. Now he needs a great effort.
3 revolutions, a 1080. Can he get it? And he goes off axis, and he really takes a brutal hit.
A huge face plant for Jeff Schmick. He will score no points on that attempt, and he will finish third. But give him credit. He really pulled out the stops.
The difficult aspect of this trick is that right at the top you got to kick and spin like mad, and he got off a little bit and just spun himself right in. Taking a shot like that is like a shot from Lawrence Taylor.
Nice effort for Jeff Schmick. Now let's meet our winner.
Great job, Dave. You survived another round, and you also won.
Yeah, I felt really good out there in the competition. We got 2 young kids, Jeff Schmick and Hank Amos, are really skiing good. And it's putting the pressure on me and Mike, the old folks here at the Freestyle.
Well, what were you thinking when you came into the one-ski front Mobius? Schmick was ahead at that point. How are you feeling?
Well, I knew I had to make it. I saw Mike go out there, and he fell in his jumps. I knew I was guaranteed third, but I was trying to rehearse what I did yesterday in practice, and I made both of them really nice.
So for the second straight event, Dave Reinhardt comes from behind to win. That's his 4th victory in 5 events this year. Not only that, but Dave picks up our Toyota Radical Maneuver of the Day for that high-scoring jump. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Now, before you can enjoy any day on the water, you have to get your boat in the water. Here's Wayne explaining how.
Okay, it's been a while. Very basic and simple. We got reverse. Steering wheel goes to the right. The boat goes to the left. Got it. Here we go. All right, going nice. Nice and straight. Bring it to the right. Bring it to the right. See. Okay, looks a little more difficult than it really is. We'll just straighten it out here. Straighten it out. Give it another shot. Used to use maybe the mirrors more. Let's try the mirrors this time. We've got reverse, cross control. Steering wheel right. Let's try it. Come on. There. Oh, oh. Okay, maybe we'll look at the manual real quickly here. Manual, okay. Right. Steering wheel from the top to the bottom. Okay. Hand goes to the right, boat goes to the right, hand goes to the left, boat goes to the left. Okay, smooth. Try to finesse it. Go slowly. And I need an observer. Todd, can you watch the blind spot, and also the little direction might help. Okay, I got it here. Here we go. Boat goes to the... There we go. Steering wheel right, boat right. Steering wheel left, boat left. There we go. No problem.
No problem at all. All right, Wayne. Same trick every trucker knows. Keep your hands on the bottom of the steering wheel. The car goes left, the trailer goes left. We'll be back with women's slalom.
Is this a perfect day? Is this a great day? What are you waiting for? It's a great day to see your Toyota dealer. And here's why. The Toyota Camry, the Toyota Corolla, the Toyota 4Runner, Tercel, trucks, the new Paseo. Cars and trucks with a reputation for quality and reliability. And your Toyota dealer has factory-to-dealer incentives and option package savings that make today a great day to get a Toyota.
It's a great day to get a great deal.
So hurry. What are you waiting for?
We don't water ski with the pros. We build the inboard power that drives them to their personal best. We don't launch space shuttles. We do, however, build inboard marine engines using advanced technology adapted from the aerospace industry to assure strict, absolute quality control. We don't talk about what we're going to do. We perform. We're Indmark, inboard power technology for the long run.
Enjoy the pay less difference, smashing rates, and faultless service.
I like to work hard. My play is my work, and my work is my play. So when I have to rent a car, I relax. Thank you, Payless.
It is from Kodak. It is for the advanced photographer. It delivers the highest resolution, microfine grain, superior image structure. It is called Ektar. Sounds like the most impressive color print film ever made? It is Ektar film by Kodak. The genius is in the details.
Back on the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour, the Gateway Challenge from Creve Coeur Lake in St. Louis, Missouri. It's time for women's slalom. There you see Jennifer Leachman talking with men's winner Andy Mapple, discussing the rough water conditions here and the strong wind our skiers will face. It'll be Aussie Tony Neville against Helena Kjellander, Natalia Rumentseva of the Soviet Union in her first appearance on tour against Jennifer Leachman. First up, Tony Neville at 43 feet of tow rope. Just 25 years of age from Queensland, Australia. Tony Neville, a part of the skiing Neville family.
Now the boat speed now is 2 miles an hour, slower than the men, 34 miles an hour, a constant speed, made easier by the Ford 351 engine, Inmar conversion. Tony getting a little late as she gets down course, but doesn't panic around number 5, and she gets all 6.
Great style and a full 6 buoy pass for Tony Neville as Jennifer Leachman looks on, warming up for her time in the water. Now it's time for our women's defending tour champion in the slalom competition, Helena Kjellander, younger sister of Mike Kjellander, and already a victor twice in competition this year.
She's won 50% of the tournaments. She has been very dominant, needless to say. All women in this tournament so far have been very competitive. They all qualified with the same score. She runs into some problems there. Needs a big turn on 3. She doesn't get it, and she's late into 4. The roughest buoy on the course. She's got to pull hard to 5, and she doesn't get 5.
And that could be a big mistake in the long term for Helena Kjellander. She will go out in the semifinals, and that gives Jennifer Leachman an opportunity to overtake her in the series points.
Helena didn't get a Michael Kjellander kind of turn out of 3, came into 4 with lots of speed, very difficult to turn in that kind of rough water conditions, had no hope of getting to 5.
So there is Tony Neville, who will advance to the finals, and we will find out now who she will meet, either the Soviet, Natalia Romanseva, or Jennifer Leachman. And this is a great opportunity for Jennifer. She knows that Helena Kjellander is out of the competition, and a good performance today could vault her into the lead in the women's slalom season standings. 27 years of age, 6 foot, 135 pounds. Jennifer Leachman was the top seed for this competition. She could have gone second, but she chooses to go first. She thinks there's less pressure then. 40 feet of rope. Through 3. Across the wake, and she lets go. 3.5 buoys for Jennifer Leachman.
And Jennifer comes into number 2. She has a little bit of a slow turn, normally turns very quickly on that side of the course, but once again, very rough water today. Even slower on number 3, way down course, and just gets out of side of number 4.
And so Jennifer Leachman has laid down the gauntlet for Natalia Romanseva, a 2-time world trick skiing champion. This is the first time we've seen her on tour this year. At 40 feet of rope, she must get past the 4th buoy in order to move on into the finals. Oh, and she goes down right away, a buoy and a half. And so Jennifer Leachman will move on to meet Tony Neville in the finals.
Natalia ran into some problems around number 1. The ski slides a little bit. She gets some slack rope, but then she kind of pulls it back into shape, maintains some angle. But when she comes into number 2, she doesn't work the front of the ski enough, doesn't slow down, and she's on the front too long in the turn, and the fin kicks out.
Now there you see Chris LaPointe on the left, who just missed making the men's semifinal. He'll be helping Jennifer Leachman along as she moves on to meet Tony Neville for the women's slalom championship. Now it's time for our wild, wacky water ski videos. This week's submission comes to us from Joseph White in Springfield, Illinois. Joe and some of his friends are tournament skiers who like to goof off a little bit with stunts like this. Gary Isaacs with Joe Zock attempting to barefoot ski. Joe is the human tow rope, believe it or not, with one hand. And now here is Lynn Heuser working with Gary Isaacs and Joe White. Joe and Gary, lying on their backs in the water, are the human skis. Believe it or not, Lynn actually manages to get up. Don't try this one at home, kids. Our thanks to Joe White and all of his friends for providing us with this week's Wild Wacky Water Ski video. Send us your favorite water ski home videos. Just send them to Water Ski, Post Office Box 2456, Winter Park, Florida, 32789, and we will show you the best submissions that we receive. Dave Reinhardt going through his barefoot routine. Nobody like Big Dave. We'll be back with Women's Slalom Finals.
World economics, a complex, ever-changing machine. What happens within its delicate framework affects every minute of your life. Whether your concerns are on Main Street or with Wall Street, you need information to manage them intelligently. Every day, CNN gives you a thorough look at changes in the economics machine, viewing details in ways you can understand. Business news to keep you in time with change on CNN.
Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page guide to understanding money and markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, all for only $37, a 24% savings off the newsstand price. Call now, toll-free, 800-642-7400. That's 800-642-7400 for today's Wall Street Journal.
Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri, and the Gateway Challenge, Round 5 on the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour for 1991. Bob Barsha and Wayne Grimditch with you as we prepare for the finals of women's slalom. There you see Tony Neville talking with husband and men's ski jumper Bruce Neville. Tony still looking for her first victory this year against this woman, Jennifer Leachman, at 27 years of age, an athlete just coming into her own. A high school basketball standout, Jennifer lettered in the sport for 3 years at Georgia Tech, but her first love has always been skiing.
This really wasn't a serious competitive tour. It wasn't going to be a profitable venture when I was 18, so couldn't pass up a full scholarship to college. Chose to go play basketball, gave up tricking and jumping at that time to try to save my knees. And slalom for fun, because I was always really good at that, and I really enjoyed training slalom. And started to challenge on the Pro Tour in a very small extent when the first year it started. And then when I tied the world record in '85, I decided that maybe there was a full-time career for me in professional skiing.
And as a corporate model and spokesperson due to her obvious good looks. But make no mistake, Jennifer is an athlete whose world record at San Diego was almost secondary, coming as it did in competition with the finest woman skier in the world, the incomparable Dina Mapple.
It was going to take a full pass 35 off, which was a really good run at that time, to get into the top 4 for the next day. So there was a lot of pressure on the two of us sitting on the dock. And Dina went down early at 35 and made a real easy run for me to get into the get through the qualifying. And after that, it was all records.
Jennifer's record was soon broken, an event that led to a protracted slump in her career. But like any true competitor, her personality was galvanized by the tough times.
Definitely some tough times. I think it was the year after I had set the world record. I was having my best year ever, and actually 800 points ahead in the top for the title, and I had a ski that didn't arrive. The airline lost it coming into one of the big events of the year, and I'm so sensitive that it just blew me away that I'd lost my ski, and that I felt like I wasn't going to win the title because of it, and subsequently I didn't. I think I could have come back, but I'd lost my confidence. So that started out. Then I broke my world record running 1:39, only to have it taken away 2 months later. So I lost all my confidence. Then I fell in love, moved to California, broke all of my training rituals, and subsequently my performances went down. I lost my ski sprinter. This all happened within 6 months of each other, and I think I thought this gray cloud would never leave.
But all that is behind her now, and Jennifer Leachman stands poised at the brink of a possible championship. Her opponent in the women's slalom finals, Tony Neville. We will start at 47 feet of tow rope, and once again, Jennifer Leachman has opted to go first with a tailwind.
Watch Jennifer as she comes into buoy 2. That's her offside. She works the ski very well, gets a sharp turn. Perhaps the best turn on the offside of any of the women's skiers.
Makes it through 5, out to buoy 6, and actually a good-looking and fairly easy run at 47 feet for Jennifer Leachman.
Very easily done.
Now, Tony Neville must match her with a full pass.
The one thing Tony does very well, too, is when she comes to her onside, she reaches well, bends her knees forward, gets a lot of the ski in the water to slow down, then quick grabs the handle, which marks the acceleration away from the buoy.
And Tony Neville clears the 6th buoy out the exit gate, and she has a full pass to match Jennifer Leachman. We will shorten up the rope to 43 feet. And Jennifer Leachman will lead off, now with the headwind.
Generally, this would be easier because it helps the skiers slow down when they're coming to the buoy. But today, because the water is so bumpy, it's very difficult for some of the skiers. The wind has died a little bit here. We're not seeing the chop we saw in the men's slalom.
Pulling hard on that tow rope at 34 miles an hour. Jennifer Leachman using all of her 6-foot frame to complete a full pass at 43 feet. And once again, the pressure is on the Australian Tony Neville.
As the Mastercraft heads down the center of the course at a constant speed, Tony now will be focused on the gates, the setup. Very important because the first buoy is positioned closer to the gates than the remaining buoys are to each other.
The toe of the ski bouncing on this rough water. First buoy for Tony Neville. There's the second. Out to the third. She gets wild and she lets go.
A surprising fall and unfortunate because she's been skiing so well throughout the competition. She has a good start. Nice pull. Changes the edge, bobbles a little bit, but she recovers well, pulls a little long into 3, perhaps. Gets her elbow down the water, and then she can't quite recover.
A big fall for Tony Neville. Let's take another look from the boat now.
As Tony rounds number 3, she gets on the tail of the ski, and the tip of the ski comes up on the outside of the rope. The rope tightens and flips her back.
With that, Jennifer Leachman has her 2nd victory in as many events, and here she is with Wayne.
Well, come on up here. Congratulations, your 2nd win of the year.
God, I'm ecstatic. Conditions were really rough today. I was A little bit nervous, but just kept skiing.
Well, the second wind feels better than the first?
Definitely, always. You know, Helena and I are really close for the overall title, and this is really a critical point in the season for me.
We'll be back with the feature event of any stop on the Michelob Dry Tour, men's jumping.
From a heritage of world water skiing records with a limited lifetime structural warranty and 2-year limited engine warranty. Redesigned for a softer ride, lower weight, no spray, and more interior room. Introducing the all-new 1991 Mastercraft Pro Star 190. Call today for a test drive.
Is this a wonderful day? Is this a great day? What are you waiting for? Today's the day to get a Toyota. Your Toyota dealer's got Camry, the car that's ranked one of the top 10 models in initial quality. Camry, the Family Circle Family Import Car of the Year. This Corolla has the reputation for quality and reliability. And right now, factory-to-dealer incentives and option package savings make it a great day to deal. Go on, see your Toyota dealer now. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Curtis Strange. If you think the PGA Tour pros are heavy hitters, hey, check these guys out.
The Mets meet the Dodgers live as part of ESPN's Tuesday night doubleheader.
If it happens in baseball, you'll see it on ESPN.
From the time I started skiing, prehistoric time, wetsuits have changed as much as skis. Nowadays, there are designs and styles for any event on all occasions. Today, however, we're just going to look at 3 suits. The first is a long wetsuit. Great on the coldest of winter days and affords the greatest protection without being cumbersome. A lot of flexibility in this suit. The next is the barefoot wetsuit. Built-in flotation around the rib cage so that when you stub your toe going 45 miles an hour, it's not as brutal on the body. Also, cinch straps down into the leg prevent bucketing when you're doing deep water starts. Now, the last suit is the shorty, worn by the most versatile guy on the water, Tony Clarich. This is a versatile suit.
Well, this is the most versatile suit. It's great in both winter and summer because it's a shorty, both short arms and short legs. There's a lot of great features that make it versatile. It's got 3 millimeters in the body, 2 millimeters in the leg. That keeps your flexibility going. It's also got cinch straps down here at the bottom to keep the water from bucketing up, and Mauser stitching, the most durable on the market.
3 functional suits and very stylish, so just suit yourself.
Oh, I get it, Wayne. Why don't you ever introduce me to your friends, for crying out loud? Let's move on to the men's jump now. The rules quite simple, like the ladies. Best of 3 attempts. The boats speed up to 35 miles an hour, and the men jump off a 6-foot ramp, 1 foot higher than the ladies. There is the buoy, symbolic of the club sportswear $25,000 world record jump-off. The buoy placed at the existing mark of 205 feet, held by American Sammy Duvall. If anybody beats it and is the world record holder at year-end, he will pick up a check for a cool $25,000. First up, young John Swanson, in his first appearance on our programs this year. This is his first of 3 attempts.
And he had a great qualifying leap of 192, a personal best. He's kind of a linebacker type build and very aggressive.
Great air for John Swanson, 187 feet. Nice jump.
Just a terrific opening leap. He got a good solid cut, stood up, resisted the ramp, and almost got his legs completely locked out.
So John Swanson does not equal his personal best of 192. And despite what it looked like, he did ski out, as you must do in jumping. He passed on his second attempt. Here is his third.
And a much better spring off the top. One of the 2 elements that gives the jumper his distance, speed and spring. John was a little down on speed, and then when he hit the ramp, his left ski came off the other end.
That jump, not as good, however, as his first. That just 180 feet. And so John Swanson is done with a best of 187 feet. Next up will be Carl Roberge, once again this weekend, having qualified in both men's slalom and men's jumping. Here is his first attempt, 27 years of age, from Orlando, Florida.
The final turn, 65 to 70 miles an hour off the end. Slips out just a little bit, but a pretty good combination of the 2 elements, speed and spring. Carl flew off the wakes a little bit, caused him to sit on the right heel of his ski. And when he hit the ramp, not squarely over his skis, the skis slide towards the crowd, and he misses his lift.
Carl's second and third efforts, 176 and 186 feet, so his best of 187 will leave him tied with John Swanson. Still to come, the two men who have made this event their own this year, Bruce Neville and Sammy Duvall.
From the boat.
I like what shampoo and conditioner do for my hair, but I love what Pert Plus does for me. Pert Plus is a unique shampoo and conditioner in one, so my hair turns out just the way I like it. Clean, conditioned, looking great, but without the bother of two bottles. Imagine, hair I like without the fuss. That's what Pert Plus does for me. If only everything in my life was so simple.
Wash and go with Pert Plus. Also in dandruff control.
What's that cool going down? What's that delicious food? What's that ice that takes your breath away? That's the taste of with refreshment. That's the real love diet Coke. That's the taste of with refreshment. Just for the taste of it, diet Coke.
Brought to you by Mastercraft Boats. Test drive one today. By Inmar Inboard Power Technology. By Waterski, the world's leading water skiing magazine. And by Michelob Dry Beer. Once you experience the bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
Back at Creve Coeur Lake in the Gateway Challenge on the Michelob Dry Waterski Tour, we are ready for Bruce Neville of Australia with his first attempt in men's jumping. Bruce has won 3 out of the previous 4 events. He is really on a roll. Setting up in the double cut approach across the wake at 70 miles an hour, and off the jump, Bruce flies.
Well, that's a long jump. He didn't get much lift out of the ramp, but he carried a lot of speed to the base. Right here, locks in, hits the second wake, works his knees, transitions to a more standing upright position, but not soon enough. The ramp meets him too early, and he sits way back.
192 feet. The jump for Bruce Neville. Wife Tony on the shore. Tells him what adjustments he needed to make, but they didn't work. His second attempt, 187 feet, and this third one got him close, 190 feet. A great series, but 192 feet is Bruce Neville's best effort. As Bruce comes out of the water, he will stand and watch as his training partner and foremost opponent, the world record holder, Sammy Duvall, a winner just once in 4 tries this year, will make his first attempt.
And watch very closely as he crosses the second wake. See if he starts his spring, stands up to resist the impact, and he really launches off the top.
Getting way out by that Club Sportswear buoy. Sammy knows he's got it, and so does the crowd. 197 feet.
Sammy really focused on what got him to the top in the world in jumping, and that's springing off the top. Impeccable timing, and gets all of his lift.
You see just how close he got to that world record buoy at 205 feet. Sammy Duvall wins the competition today. Here's one more look.
Pulls it together, stands up, resists, and locked dead straight at the top.
Extending for every inch, not quite enough to lock up that $25,000 check, however. Wife Sue is there to meet him on shore. Here are the results. Sammy Duvall by 5 feet over Bruce Neville and Carl Roberge. Let's meet him now on the dock with Wayne.
How long before we see beyond 205? Well, you know,